What's up, guys? My name is Colin Moriarty. I'm senior editor of IGN. I'm here with David Ballard of Naughty Dog. He's a multiplayer developer at Naughty Dog. He worked on Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, and Uncharted 3, Jake's Deception, and of course, he worked on The Last of Us. We're here to talk a little bit about each of the maps in the game for the multiplayer component, some of the philosophies, some of the design choices, and things of this nature. So, Mr. Ballard, let's jump into the Dam, which I know you hold very near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely. The Dam is one of my favorite levels. I really hold it dear to my heart because this map was originally just a side project. This is something I was doing on my own time, and which is very hard to say that I had my own time, as you know, I spent a lot of time for quite a while to make these maps and whatnot. So finding spare time was really hard, but you know, it was just something I really wanted to experience. You know, we didn't really have a lot of organic or exterior maps that were set in nature. You know, a lot of these are mainly buildings and overgrown, and I wanted something that, you know, added you know, an outdoor element and you know, just something very different, and that was how I got to experiment with this map. And then finally, after a while, I pulled it up and showed their team members, and you know, everybody's like, you know, like, oh, you're creating more work, but this is a really cool map, so let's do it. And you know, it's just a really fun experience. So yeah, right off the bat, like, you know, another thing I really wanted to do was also I wanted some water. Like, we don't really have a lot of maps that have water, so one of the cool things I wanted to do with this map was allow you to get into the water and whatnot. And originally there was some cooler, you know, stuff and more to do with it, but you know, we found that it just took away from the full game experience, so we just kept it simple and whatnot, and with the dam and with the waterfalls here. This map was originally the largest map. It was huge. All this debris
here, yeah,
and everything in this river. This was all gone. You could go all the way back. This river went all the way around, and there's entire routes. You can still see in the back there that went up and went around. This whole bridge up here was connected, and you could cross this entire bridge up top, and then also there was a platform that went across this curved metal bridge up here that you could walk across, and there was a lot more foliage that went across it that you could kind of stealth across underneath, and so you couldn't be seen. It was just very interesting design, and we ultimately focused it down to a more core experience on this map because, you know, our experience is our multiplayer experience is 4v4, and when you have a huge map, it's very easy. It's very hard sometimes to find the entire team. If each team is sticking together and you're on entire, you know, opposite sides of the map, and,
right,
you're circling around each other, you're never going to find each other, and we found that was a huge problem. So yeah, you can see back here, obviously these gates led to some paths that went back to areas that were once accessible but no longer.
So, with this particular map, I mean, how much bigger are we talking about? Like, how much? This map always feel. I don't know if it actually is like literally the biggest map in the game, and maybe it's not, but it feels the biggest. So, how much bigger was this map? I mean,
well, for instance, this entire ranch house was originally one of the bases, and you could go inside. There's an entire interior inside of there. This fence wasn't always there. You can go through. This truck wasn't here. This is a blockage. You could go all the way back and around, and that would lead to that concrete bridge, as you can see here. We go around to the bridge, and you go across, and then kind of hard to see, but all the way back there. Let's see. Let's go across the map real quick and go check it out. Also, back down here, this was another route you could get around to go through, as you can see back that way. It was just a very massive map, and there's so much more on the other side as well. I think we have a video we'll show that has a little bit more of a fly through that shows it. But and also up here on the actual side of the dam, this base up here was in a different location. So this whole building here, that one side of this map starts out on, was actually behind that wall. And that wall was actually, you could access it. You could go up some stairs here that would go up to that entire base. And it was so big that we even had these sniper towers that you could get up into. You would get up there and have quite an advantage and be able to shoot and counter snipe against the metal or the concrete bridge that's on the other side. And there's also stairs here that went up and around this concrete barrier up to that base. It was just a very, very massive map.
Yeah, it seems really big. I mean, so for the edification of people at home that, you know, are kind of curious about how these things work, I mean, if those barriers weren't there, I mean, in the way the map is now, would you still be able to like walk and see those areas, like if you were somehow able to pass those barriers?
Well, so like you know, if you were able to go back up there and see all that stuff, no, because we removed a lot of those assets, and the reason we removed those assets is because, you know, that takes up memory, and the more items you have in there, the more memory it's going to take up, and
right,
the less you have for the rest of your map. And so, you know, to make sure we have enough room for memory for, you know, the entire map, we have to make sure that it's as optimal as possible and optimized. So no, those areas are currently not there anymore. Well, I take that back. Some areas, like especially behind the concrete bridge, but most of the areas no.
So, I meant to bring this up on the lakeside map, but we're seeing it here too. Some of this, there it was kind of snow. Here it's a fog effect, kind of a dynamic thing.
Yeah.
What made you guys want to do, bring this in and kind of add a little bit of a dynamic nature to the
So
gameplay?
we experimented with the dynamic render settings. We'll call them render settings. How we're rendering and doing these dynamic events throughout the maps in Uncharted 3, right? And like the desert map, you have the dust cloud blow in, whatnot, and they just changed the map. All of a sudden, now you can't. Visibility's down, and it changes the gameplay, and now it's harder, and now you're more scared to run through the fog and whatnot, and it just creates this tension and tone, and just creates the maps to be a lot more interesting.
Awesome. So, any other kind of odds and ends that we want to run around and see in the dam?
Yeah. So, just a little funny anecdote over here. This little railing here, this little catwalk, wasn't originally here, and there was just something missing from this map, and there was no way to flank a team. If there, this entire upstairs area of this dam is a very, very high tension point for a lot of matches. But like you would just be stuck. You couldn't flank around the other team. You couldn't get around to them. You just be stuck in this one combat area. So literally the last minute, right before like we locked this map down and like said, okay, ship the game, I just added this catwalk in a Hail Mary. Like I hope this works, and we didn't even like really get to test it much. Like it was just a really scary thing. Like I hope this works. And luckily it worked out great and added did exactly what I wanted to do and add this additional gameplay element that made the map really open up more.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Ballard, thank you for showing us this particular map. Of course, all the readers and viewers out there should go back and look at all the other videos for every map here. In the last ones, we'll also have a full interview. So thank you again, and for all things Naughty Dog, for all things PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 4, soon enough, keep it tuned to IGN.